Welcome to the Cosmic Cadence podcast. We are your hosts, Kate
and G. And this is the podcast where we decode the cosmic vibes of your favorite albums and the people that help bring them into the universe.
Welcome back. So you might have noticed we didn't have an episode for a minute. We posted about it. There have been a lot of astrological energies, I suppose, that, difficult energies out there. So if you've been having a hard time, we have too. We have been feeling it. Hence why we're here now.
Yeah, and you saying that, it's kind of dawning on me that this is the first time we've actually kind of been together to record one of these episodes in a minute due to all of the
April was crazy.
April was crazy. March was crazy. It's been really, really rough. So if you're going through it like we've been going through it, please reach out. Tell us what music's been helping you through it, because I think we need as much help as we can get.
Absolutely.
But we are finally on the other side of a lot of these events. And I've watched the videos on TikTok like everyone else, and every time they're like, this is happening and it's supposed to be really great for your sign, I'm still waiting for the greatness to appear.
One day, yeah.
But it feels like things are finally kind of mellowing out. So hopefully
we're almost there.
We're getting through. But we're very excited to be back and talking about a record today that is very, funnily enough, like perfectly timed for the season, I would say, that we're in.
Okay, I'm gonna let you expand on that. But we did technically miss the start of Aries. This is our Aries episode that we wanted to do because actually, I'm sure we've talked about it before, but Aries is technically the start of the astrological year. Aries is the start of the zodiac. They are the baby of the zodiac. So we thought it'd be fun to do an episode that centered around one of our favorite Aries icons.
Yes.
Which is Lady Gaga.
Yes.
We love Lady Gaga. And I do want to throw in a fun fact here. Recently, we had an epiphany, or maybe I had the epiphany, but we shared this epiphany of our dynamic actually is Lady Gaga and Beyonce.
We secretly are Beyonce and Lady Gaga. It's time for you to know.
Yeah. Surprise. But yeah, I forgot. Well, basically, I guess it was like the telephone music video. And just thinking about the dynamics of, their friendship and whatnot. And we were just like, that's us.
It gives up.
That's actually very much us. I'm kind of like the more out there, like, let's do this crazy thing. She's more like reserved, like,
let's think about it. Yeah. Let's put our best foot forward. We're not going to be out there looking crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And it is definitely a fun fact. And I'm glad you shared that because I needed that reminder today that I am Beyonce.
Exactly. Okay, but yes, please tell us your thoughts.
So on this day that we are filming, Lady Gaga has wrapped up her second weekend headlining Coachella.
Okay.
So the streets are abuzz with Gaga love. The monsters are out. They're primed and ready. And I think even though we couldn't get this out when we originally wanted to, which was to honor the start of Aries season, as we're deep into festival season now, Lady Gaga just had a birthday. This is her moment. She just put out an album. So like most things, the universe's timing is always right.
Everything for a reason. And I'm glad, you know what? I almost forgot to bring that up because I actually, funny enough, was flying to California, not for Coachella, but I was watching a clip from Lady Gaga's first Coachella performance, the first weekend. I literally like almost teared up. I definitely got chills. The opening with her chest and poker face. Oh my God. If you haven't seen it, please go look up the clip. If you especially like were there for the release of this album back in whatever it was, 2008, it will probably give you chills as well. It was just because it's her new era or her.
It's like the new Gaga versus the old Gaga, which is such a her mind.
So good. So creative too.
Did we officially say which album we're talking about from
You know what? We have not. This is how much we love Gaga, okay? It's too excited.
Yes. I'll let you do the honors.
Okay. So funny enough, though, I did have to check in a couple times because we are talking about today the Fame. Not to be confused with the Fame monster.
Correct. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because when we sat down and we're like, we're going to do her first album, essentially, I was like, oh yeah, the Fame monster, the Fame monster. And then I went back to listen and I was like, oh no, it was just the Fame. The Fame monster came later. And technically that's a completely different record.
Totally. Yeah.
So it just is more fun to say. I'll say when I just say the fame, it feels incomplete, like it's
For
missing
sure. Yeah,
something.
I felt that.
But we are talking about the fame, and as Kate kind of already mentioned, came out in 2008. So going back to this record was almost like stepping into a time machine.
Hmm.
It's one of the, and I think we've talked about albums like this before, but it's one of those records where you put it on and you're instantly transported back to where you were at that time.
I felt that.
Um, I don't want to give away where I was because it'll just make me feel really bad about myself. But, you know, this is a classic album, and I'll leave it at that. We don't have to do the math.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah, I will say it's crazy. I mean, this isn't a 20-year anniversary or anything, but it's almost there. It's almost there.
And you had to go there. I left it at classic for a reason. It's getting up there. It's
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 getting,
it's getting up there. It's still
but
new to me.
yeah, there you go. It's a fresh energy. It
It
hasn't lost
does.
that fresh, and that's actually what I think I most appreciate about this album is the fresh energy that it brought.
Mhm.
And I remember for me specifically, so as you could probably tell by the albums that we've done already and just stuff that I've talked about, I definitely was very much a rock music lover
Mhm.
in high school. But then I do remember specifically Just Dance
Mm.
came out on the radio, and it was kind of the first time, or at least like maybe I liked some Katy Perry songs here and there, but I was like, what is this? Like it just had such a cool edge to it that I was like, you know what? All right, I can take a break from my rock music and listen to this. And I remember it was the same amongst all my friends. We
Mhm.
just automatically like every car ride that summer or whatnot, probably winter too. Honestly, the whole year that it was out, it was just Lady Gaga all the time, honestly.
Yeah, it's funny. It's also funny that you mentioned the fun fact about us, with who we are. Because going back to when this album came out, my greatest memories of it was my sister's favorite record.
Mm-hmm.
Like she bought it, I think like right when it came out, everything was Gaga for her all the time. And I was kind of like, I like Beyonce. You like Gaga kind of
I mean,
thing.
checks out, yeah.
But I definitely appreciate and always respected Lady Gaga and loved her music. Like Just Dance was so catchy, and I have
Hmm.
this vague memory of like being in a classroom and like early on in my music educational phase, teachers like breaking down this like how she promoted it and everything she
Hmm.
was doing. So it was just such a cool time to kind of witness. And it's funny that you bring up that like you were so immersed in the rock world, but like Lady Gaga had enough edge to keep you
Hmm.
interested because she was doing the most,
The
as people
most.
say, the
Yeah.
most.
And that was, I mean, I guess, I am a very creative person, so I really did appreciate just, I mean, look, watch any music video of hers. It's just like, where did you get that idea?
Mhm.
Like, it was just, it pushed boundaries, I feel like, in ways that artists hadn't in a minute. But not even that, because it was totally in her own way. And I guess, the classic example that I would bring up, this actually isn't my like number one favorite song, but Paparazzi, I'm sure
Mm.
everyone remembers. I think it was
The
MTV
MTV Music
Music.
Video
Yeah.
Awards, yes.
She's there in meat costume. She's bleeding on the stage. Like,
Mhm.
who does that?
Lady Gaga.
Exactly.
Okay, so without further ado, I think it's time for us to dig into the fame. Before we start, though, I was going to say two things that happened in this journey of me prepping to talk about this album today.
Please tell. Yes.
Number one, before I even went back to listen to it and we
Hmm.
decided on doing it, as we typically do, we start thinking about the album in a different way, what makes it up, what's the astrological signs. And for whatever reason, the download I got was Leo.
Interesting.
So that was my
Okay.
guess for the sun. And I meant to come into today not having looked up the actual release date.
Hmm.
However, I accidentally came upon it. So I won't go into what it is just yet. But then when I went to listen to it,
Hmm.
Spotify did its thing again with the January 1st,
Yeah.
2008. And then I was like, oh, I guess it's not a Leo. And then I remembered, no,
Hmm.
2008 is long ago enough for them to not have the proper release date in there.
Hmm. Exactly.
So then I was just like, great. I don't know what the release date is. Let me just listen to it. And upon listening to it, I was still getting the Leo vibes.
Hmm.
And I was so excited to come in here and like find out on camera, do like a in real time reveal.
And you ruined it for
And then
yourself.
I ruined it for myself.
Well, it's still very, I have zero idea. I did not look up anything, so I'm coming in blind.
Good.
Yeah. But funny you say that because I 100% got fire as well.
Mm,
But interestingly, so I more so got, I do see the Leo, and I wouldn't doubt that there is Leo in the album, but for me, it actually veered more towards Sagittarius.
mm.
I could be swayed, but I think for me, the Sagittarius of it all was it's very carefree and fun. For me, Leos are not as carefree as
They care a
Sagittarius.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why I get Sagittarius. But on the other side of it, I got a lot of Libra because there is a
Mm,
ton of love themes on here, but
hmm
also I didn't really get ground at all.
hmm
But I was kind of between Taurus and Libra on the money and luxury themes. There is a ton of that on. There's, Beautiful Dirty Rich, The Fame, Money Honey, like so many songs that really speak to that kind of, the quintessential pop star. But again, I kind of steered more towards Libra just because a lot of love talk on
Right.
this album. And then the other thing, so I guess what I'm going to say is Sagittarius Sun, Libra Moon,
Okay.
and this is probably totally off, but I have to say Aquarius Rising
Ooh.
simply because of the out there
Okay.
eccentricness.
Okay. So those are your final guesses. Sagittarius Sun,
Sun.
Libra Moon, Aquarius Rising, which is funny because two of those things are what I have.
Mhm.
I agree with you on the Aquarius Rising,
Okay.
mostly because of what it did for society and
Yes.
like her career as a
Pushing the
whole,
boundaries.
where it literally pushed
Hmm.
boundaries, almost created like a divide, like I might be going too deep into it now, but it's like when you think of the pop star Mount Rushmore,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
You have Madonna and everything she did. And then you have Britney and everything
Hmm.
she did. And then you have Lady Gaga. And she was just the start of a new era where
Hmm.
artists were not afraid to just be 1,000% themselves. And what was funny was if you remember how Gaga was dressing on like anywhere she went, like even the typical just running out to the grocery store, she was always done up. That was her thing. Like you never looked at her and thought, oh, she's faking that. Like there's
Hmm.
like that's her, you know? She went to the awards dressed up as a guy and it was just like it was just her, you know, and no one kind of batted an eyelash.
Yeah.
That was a wild MTV year. We won't go into anything else that occurred that night, but there was a lot happening.
Do you think though also part of that maybe because Lady Gaga is, as we said, an Aries,
hmm
so I feel like that almost maybe gave her some of that boldness because it's
Yeah.
not easy to do what she was doing, especially she was making a lot of political statements. Definitely agree with you, like the Mount Rushmore of
Mhm.
it all. 100% agree.
Moments in time.
Hmm.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes, I'm actually I thought this one was a little hard, not gonna lie. It was a little hard, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm off or if both of us are off, but I'm excited because yeah, this was a great album.
So,
Mhm.
your guess for Sun was Sagittarius. And I will say you were close with the element.
Okay.
I was right. So, The Fame came out August 19th,
Mm,
2008.
it does make sense. As I said, definitely got major fire on this
Mhm.
album, and Leos are very theatrical, and I mean, come on, Lady Gaga, like everything she does is
Yeah.
very theatrical.
And I think that's kind of why, like, even when I was before I even listened to it, just thinking about it, I got that download because I was just remembering the time, like all the videos, all the performances,
Hmm.
all the theatrics. It's very in your face. It's very look at me, give me attention. And then I'm saying that, and I don't want that to sound negative, but that's very much how Leos operate. They are ruled by the sun. They love to be adored. They love to be looked at and perceived and all of that. And that's what this album really was,
Hmm.
you know? Um, so when I saw that, I was like, huh,
That's
interesting.
so funny. See, as we say, go with your intuition.
Always. But knowing that, as we dive deeper into the rest of the chart,
Mhm.
things get a little crazy.
Okay.
So my guess for the moon was Scorpio. And that came from the contents of the lyrics, where it was very deep, it was very emotional, it was very
I did not get that. That's so funny.
I feel like there's an emotion that runs through, right? Where there's like a passion when everything she's saying, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
And it's like I think a perfect example, a song that you just said you don't love that
I
much,
know
but it was one
exactly what
of
you're
my
gonna
favorites,
say. Yeah.
Paparazzi. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you until you love me. It's like you're saying all these things, which really, if you're a Scorpio, you're never going to admit that to anybody or hold that down deep inside. But it's like you're saying these things at surface level, but like there's so much more emotion behind it. And I think there's a lot of that on this record. So that was my guess for the moon sign.
I would give you like because when I was thinking about paparazzi, 100% would agree, Scorpio song. But for me, I didn't get deep emotion, more so I got actually more surface level, like I'm just gonna have fun. So it is interesting to
Mm.
hear that.
I bring that up not to say I was right, because I was wrong with the Scorpio guess.
Hmm.
But you were on the other side of it with air Libra moon sign guess.
Hmm.
That is incorrect as well. And I think we're gonna have to take a moment and sit with what the moon sign actually is
Hmm.
to try and figure out what that means for this, because I'm looking at this and I am shooketh.
Is it ground?
No.
Okay, because I definitely would not have thought ground. Is it is it air?
No,
So fire.
no. It is a water
Oh,
sign. I was
oh,
just
oh,
not
okay.
Scorpio.
Well, I was gonna when you said that I got Pisces.
It's
Yeah.
Pisces.
No, I get that. I actually get that.
Help me understand. I'm
I'm not
lost.
surprised. I guess like it kind of melds together what we're saying. We're like you're
Mm,
saying it's deep emotion and I'm saying it's like carefree and Pisces is kind of the
it's the
middle
combo of the two.
dream
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
state. And also I feel like Pisces are a bit more, not to say reserved.
They're quick to cut people out, whereas like Scorpio probably holds on to things a little longer than they should.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's coming around. That's definitely making more sense in my brain now. Thank you for.
Because yeah, I mean, it's how you're like the moon sign is how you're
Hmm.
thinking, your thoughts and emotions.
Hmm.
So I'd say that checks out.
I was shocked by the rising. I thought we had it with Aquarius. There's no way, timing is exact when it comes to the rising sign. And as we said before, we operate off of when the album first hits the world, midnight Eastern, most places or most of these releases fall under that. So I thought we had it with Aquarius. I was like, there's no way this is not an Aquarius rising, but it's not.
Well, you're making me think it's like totally the opposite. No.
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. The only hint I'll give you, and this might give things away, is it's still an air sign.
Well, before when you were telling me that, but like everything you were telling me before, I was seeing Gemini.
Yes.
Yeah, like, but that also does that not make sense? It
It makes
does.
sense, but Aquarius would have been so
I
much
know it would have
better.
been, it would have made even more
Would have
sense.
made even more sense.
But Gemini makes sense. The communication part, because again, like she was saying stuff that people weren't or were too scared to say. And I feel like Geminis, they will just say what they think. And I mean this in a good way, actually. Geminis can be like a little eccentric, more than other signs.
Hmm.
They are creative, I feel like,
Yeah.
they're creative and
They're very curious. They
very
kind of want
curious.
to they want to understand everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think I've said this so many times on this podcast, so if this is your 10th time hearing me give this speech about Geminis, please forgive me. But I feel like the eccentricism part comes from them looking for pieces of themselves in everyone else,
Hmm.
And I kind of, after saying that, like, understand this album of that. Because in a weird way, going back to your example about how you were dead set on being a rock girly and then kind of latching on to Gaga because of her
Yeah.
edge. Like she's giving a little bit of everything for everyone, if that
Hmm.
makes sense, but in a way that still feels so natural and authentic to her. And I think on this record specifically, that definitely speaks to like the Gemini rising of like trying to be not in a Libra way of wanting to be liked by
Mhm.
everybody and like faking it till you make it almost thing. It's like
Yeah,
searching for the real of like, this is a part of me that connects with this person, but also this side of me connects with this person. And I think that's what this album did. There was really something for everybody.
I love that. I would totally agree with that. And I was gonna say, I feel like that this started the movement too of like if you're a fan, like Little Monsters,
Mm,
and that fan base is like so rabid, but I think that's why, because everyone can find a piece of themselves in Lady Gaga's message. And it just, I feel like really made people feel at home.
yeah, we did it. Now for the hard part. Let's match some songs to these songs.
Before we do that, I do for this one want to check out, I think, two more songs. Okay, one, just because as I said, I felt like I got a lot of love themes on this album. I am curious what the
Mm.
Venus is. And then the Mercury, because I wonder if it checks out with our theory.
I'm gonna let you, since you're asking these questions, I'm gonna let you justify these because
Okay.
the Mercury is Virgo and the
Hmm.
Venus is Virgo.
Interesting. Huh. Funny that they're both the same.
Yeah.
Well, we do we do often say Virgo is Scorpio's sister sign, and you were saying that you got a lot of like these emotional aspects of the
It's
album. That's
true,
a
it's
stretch,
true.
a little bit of a stretch, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. It is interesting though, because as I said, did not really get any groundedness
No.
on this album. But it's kind of like nice in a way to know that there is a grounded backbone.
Yeah. It
Um,
keeps it down to earth, you know?
all right, let's go into our song choices.
Yes.
Okay, well, Leo, pretty easy, I would think, because it's got to be Just Dance.
Interesting. Because I said paparazzi.
I am assuming I know why you're saying that, but
It's
uh-huh.
funnily enough the same reason why you said for the Scorpio of it all. Like, I think it's the most theatrical song on the record, where it's again very attention seeking. Look at the performance at the VMAs. It's the most in your face, the most look at me, the most attention grabbing, and even thinking of the success of that
Mhm,
record
mhm.
too. It just screamed Leo to me.
I guess, I mean, I'm thinking in the same ways, but for me, it would be Just Dance because of one, it's just such a fun song. It just gives me that like liveliness that I feel like Leos have. And also the like that catapulted Lady Gaga, like the start of it all for
Hmm.
Lady Gaga was that song. So for that kind of setting off her, because I actually wasn't she like dropped a couple like from I think she had a hard
A hard
start to
start,
her
yeah.
career. So I do feel like, that song was kind of the positive start to her this theatrical career that she has. Which actually, she's also an actress, obviously. So,
Yeah.
that's part of it as well. For Pisces, I think I might switch. And so like you say paparazzi for Leo,
Mm,
I would say paparazzi for Pisces because it is that kind of has a dreamy element, but also like even I guess what I'm thinking of is like the musicality of it. Like
hmm.
kind of more, she sometimes does it as a ballad or more like piano driven than the other songs
Yeah,
have,
I get what
you
you're
know?
saying. For me, I'm gonna go with actually one of my favorites off of this record. Nothing else I can say is my Pisces
Mhm.
moment. I feel like with that song, it kind of gives that Pisces energy of like, I've done all I can. This is all I can. This is where I'm at. Take it or leave it kind of thing.
Mhm.
And even if we want to get down to the musicality of it too, it's kind of like not as upbeat as some of the other songs, kind of like you went with one that was more of a mellow moment. Like it's
Mhm.
still kind of poppy and still kind of bubbly, but kind of like
It's
in
more
that like
chill.
dreamy, chill kind of Pisces, like laid
Yeah.
back kind of vibe,
Yeah.
So that's mine for Pisces.
I see that. Okay. I say this with love as well, but I think for Gemini, I want to say poker face.
Same.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, yes. Well, because the stereotype is that Geminis, they can be two-faced because of, you got the two
You
sides.
never know what you're getting.
So that's where the poker face comes in.
I take your answer or copy paste. That's my exact reasoning as
Which
well.
actually, poker face is probably, I was going to ask like some of your favorite songs, but poker face is up there for me. Definitely one of my top. I love the bridge of that song.
I think for me, Just Dance is always just nostalgic. It's not something that in this year of 2025 I'm finding myself putting on
Mhm.
by choice. But when it comes on and I'm not
It's a vibe.
skipping it,
Yeah.
But like I said, AA, nothing else I can say was definitely one of my favorites. I liked Paper Gangsta a lot.
Wait, okay. I love that you said that because literally that was probably low key like one of my first favorites from the album, along with Starstruck.
Starstruck was really good
Love that
too.
song.
But there's just always going to be something special for in my heart for Paparazzi. Like I don't know what it was about that song. Like I said, my sister was the big Gaga fan and would play this album over and over and over again, but it didn't really click for me until I heard Paparazzi. And then I was like
Interesting.
intrigued of like, who's this Lady Gaga person? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely I don't not like the song. It just maybe it was a lot. It's very intense. Okay, it's a very intense
It
song.
scares you.
But then again, I mean, I like other intense stuff, but like Love Game, like can't say that's not an intense song. I
Yeah.
guess I like the opposite intensity. We like the opposite, but it makes sense. You know what? Bring it all together. I like the crazy intensity on the Lady Gaga side, and you like the chill intensity
Yeah.
on the Beyonce
Hide
side.
hide the
You know?
crazy.
Yeah.
Did we do it? Did we break down this album?
I think we did. It was, as I said, I knew it'd be a little bit tough,
Yeah.
but I think overall it makes sense. Does it make the most sense out of ones that we've done? No,
No. But I got the sun sign right. And that
that's all
says a
that
lot.
matters. But we did focus like the fire energy comes
Very
strong.
strong, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, something we mention a lot in these episodes of like maybe it was written in the
Mhm.
summertime. And the fact that Lady Gaga is a fire sign, it just kind of all that she is just bleeds into everything she does.
The themes on this album, there are a ton of, isn't there a song like Summertime Boy, right? Is that the theme?
In this
Yeah,
one?
Summer
Yeah,
Summer
Summer
Boy.
Boy.
There is a song called Summer Boy, so I definitely get those vibes. And it was funny, like as we said, we picked this album because Lady Gaga is an Aries,
Mhm.
but it's kind of funny that yeah, this album also ended up being, well, it's not an Aries, ended up being a fire sign as well.
Yeah.
The fire energy, as we said, it's very strong. So we hope that you are or have taken that with you throughout this Aries season. Aries again, it's like the start of it's a fresh start, a
The
fresh
fresh
start,
start,
new
yeah.
year, kind of hit the ground running energy from Aries. Again, it hasn't been that easy,
We're
but we
hitting the
still
ground in different ways.
yeah. But it's still there. It's still there as a backbone of this time.
Yeah.
We are entering, I believe when we post this episode, it will be Taurus season. So a bit more groundedness, still hardworking
Mhm.
energy, but a little bit more grounded. So let's all hope for a little bit more groundedness in our lives.
And ease
Mhm.
and rest.
And rest. Yeah, that's true. Taurus
Of course, love
loves
to
to
rest.
rest.
Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Cosmic Cadence podcast. If you like what you heard, please take the time to subscribe and like, rate, and review wherever you listen. It really helps us out.
You can also find us on socials at Cosmic Canes Pod on all platforms. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next time.